and now I will always have vanilla socks with me or just huge swaths of stockinette during group therapy, because this requires that you think, and that's hard to do during group therapy. Not in general. Sometimes in general, but especially in group therapy. Welcome to Knitting My Shit Together, a fiber arts podcast where knitting or yarn and neurodivergence collide. My name is Farrah, and you can find me on Instagram at Knitting My Shit Together, and on Ravelry on a shortened version of that. And a slide has probably just come up that shows you what the spelling of that is. Welcome to this week's episode 11. I'm glad you're here. If this is your first time watching the podcast, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you're a subscriber or have watched before, welcome back. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, as you might have seen if you've watched before from the intro, I have a logo and it's awesome. So when I first started this, I said I wasn't going to be a perfectionist, which if I was being my perfectionist self, like all of this would have been done when I started. But instead, I'm just slowly adding to it little by little, and I wanted a logo. So I worked with art by Mandy Meow, and I'll put her name right up here. That's where you can find her on Instagram. She has an Etsy shop, and you can find that from her Instagram account with lots of cool stuff. She makes like yarn mandalas, crocheted mandalas that she sells, and just a whole bunch of stuff. So go check her out and support her. It was really awesome working with her to make this logo. We were really on the same page, which was really fun. There was never a moment where one of us was like, I really love this, and the other one was like, and so basically we just discussed that, she submitted initial ideas, and in her initial ideas, like she added the glasses, which is something I thought like, oh, I wonder if my glasses could be added, but I didn't. I'm like, no, that would be too much, and I didn't say anything, and she added it in, and so, we swapped back and forth, and it was just a lovely process, and she's awesome. So go check her out. I love the logo. I'm gonna make buttons. There will be buttons, there will be swag. And that will happen too slowly over time. I am gonna make buttons to give out at Stitches Midwest where I will be. So if I see you there, come up to me and ask for a button and I will gladly give you one. So yeah, that's with the new look. So I'll be able to kind of, I've been experimenting and exploring with different texts on the bottom and all of that. And so I feel like now I'll be able to have a set theme that I go with, which is nice. I like visually when everything comes together. So yeah. Okay, also, these are my notes, which you will constantly see me looking at because if I don't make show notes that I jot down to stay on track, I will forget. So I will be looking at those. Okay. Talked about the logo. I tried to make a Ravelry group several times, and it turns out with everything going on Ravelry, they've disabled the ability to make new groups right now, which I completely understand. I'm sure they're probably having to sift through older groups in terms of content. So yeah, once that ability is turned back on, I will be starting the Ravelry group, and it'll be a place where we can talk and have fun. Yeah. Okay. Also, I started a stitch group. So if you'll remember in previous episodes, I've been talking about, oh, it'd be good if we had this virtual thing. And then I just started it. It started one night by trying it on Instagram Live, only to discover that that does not work because only 2 people can be on the screen at the same time. And then I just started exploring. And I decided to get the Zoom software and pay for a subscription, a monthly subscription, because it allows that month over, the monthly fee as opposed to the free account offers moderation. And I really want that in any format I use, so that we can make sure it's a safe place for everybody. And so, yeah, if should somebody need to be booted, I can boot people, which is good. And also it allowed for captioning. So I did an Instagram story about this, but this is how the captioning thing will work. You have to have a captioning service, and then it allows the moderator to put a link to that service into it for the captioning. I don't have a captioning service currently. If people know about that and want to let me know a good idea, let me know. But if somebody else needs captioning and they already have a captioning service, it also allows me the ability to share it with them so that they can put the link in from their captioning service. And yeah, we can try it that way. So that's what's going on. I'm using the Zoom software. If you go to my Instagram stories, you will see I have slides about Stitch Group, and I'm calling it Stitch Group because I want to be inclusive of all the fiber arts. And trust me, so we've had knitters, we've had crocheters, I've sewn on a couple of them. We had somebody spinning during one of them, and we've had a really good time. I hosted the group several nights this last week, and we've had a really good time. Look who made an appearance with his butt, Hamilton. So yeah, it went really well, and yeah, I'm just really liking it. And I'll talk more about it coming up. But if you would like to join a future one, the link is in I have an Instagram highlight about Stitch Group, and the link is in there, and the link stays the same every time it happens. So you can always get the link there. And before I get online, so there isn't going to be a set schedule, because a lot of times I'm just home and sitting around knitting, sewing, whatever. And so I'll just go online. I'll just turn it on, and I'll put it on my story that I'm online so that people know that, so that they can jump on. I don't want to have a set time because I want people from all over and with various schedules to be able to join should they want to. If you want to get notified every time I put that up on my stories, how you can do that is if you go to my profile, at my profile, it will say, if you're following me on Instagram, great. If not, follow me. And then under my profile on Instagram, it will say following, and you can click the little down triangle, and you can click on notifications, and you can set your notifications to get notified whenever I add to my story. So if you want to be sure you're getting the notifications in a timely way, that is the best way to ensure that you do. And again, I'm at Knitting My Shit Together on Instagram. So yeah, that's Stitch Group. Okay, I think I'm done with all the businessy kind of things we need to talk about. So I don't have any FOs for the week. Sewing took up a lot of my time, which I will talk about again later in the podcast as well. So I do have whips though. So we're going to talk about whips. Okay, so let's get going on this. Tanya. I did a little bit on Tanya. As you can see, I'm still on the lace section. I haven't done a ton, but I'm farther than I was last week. I've probably done like 10 or 11 rows, and I think I screwed something up or got lost, so I have to think back and figure it out. But I'm making progress. It's coming along. Oop, here's the right side. Yeah, I'm getting there. And yeah. I'll get inspired again by this and plug away at it once I get caught up on sewing this week. So yeah, that's that. I am knitting this, I should say. So I'm knitting this with MUSE 2320 fiber on their Crane Wife base, and I am using the Matcha Latte color that I love. I am knitting this on 3.5 millimeter needles, Luca needles. That is a US 4. I really like the fabric it's making, and this yarn is so soft. I might knit on this some more tonight, actually, because that could be fun after I record this while I'm waiting for it to upload and after I edit and everything. So yeah. So that is one of my whips. I'm not going to mention my Cherie chevron shawl because I haven't done really any work on that. I haven't done work on the spring cleaning shawl, so I'm not going to mention that. I'm just going to talk about what I've actually made progress on. And it has been a socky week, my friends. Let me tell you. I just went on a sock casting on craze and here's what I have so far. So I started a second pair of ankle socks using my scraps. I think I had these going last week too. So I'm on to the second. I finished the first sock and I'm doing a rolled cuff, the kind of the how I roll pattern. I'm doing that, except I'm doing an afterthought heel. So I have to put the heel in, but otherwise the first sock is done. This is Stitched Together Studios yarn, and this is from it was like an April Choose Your Own Adventure colorway that I picked, and I really like how it looks. It's really fun. During Stitch Group, people were commenting, what yarn is that? And yeah, so. And then I'm on my second sock. I'm using my Luca US 1s. This is my Acorn Stitch Marker by Firefly Notes. And the yarn I'm using for the toes and heels is Three Irish Girls. It's their collaboration with Stephen B. Called their Binge Knits, and it is the colorway called Because I Have a Gun. And it's what I'm just using for toes and heels. I'll probably just always use gray for those, except when I get a coordinating mini, so yeah. But that's not all for socks. I wanted to cast on striped socks. So I'm really going to be focusing on Issa's college box of socks for when they go to college, because September 1st is right around the corner. It's coming. And so I think I'm going to really try and plow ahead on those. This will be another rolled ankle sock. And I am using Knit Picks Felici yarn. They're Felici sock. I'm knitting these on my Luca US 1s. I'm using the Binge Knits for the toes and heels again. And this is the colorway. Oh, this is called Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows, which I love. And it's really strange. The orange was sticking out at the first, and I started with that. And what I should have done is made sure it was a full repeat, but I didn't. So I only have like half a repeat and then it goes on, but whatever, they're ankle socks and the next ones will be perfect, or I'll make sure. Now I've learned my lesson in terms of that. So yeah, and this is my Koala Bear Progress Keeper from Whatnot, who you can find on Instagram and Etsy. So that is that sock. Then I cast on the third sock, but let me show you where I'm at with that. This, because I had to rip it out. So this is Forest Fiber Arts 4-ply sock. This is the avocado colorway, and I am in Helen Stewart's, Who's Curious Handmade on here, the Handmade Sock Society, the second season of that. And I think like 5 or 6 patterns are released over the year, sock patterns. And this would be the second one for the year, which was called the Samphire socks. I started knitting them and then I screwed up some of the lace work, and I tried knitting lace socks during group therapy, which I have no idea what I was thinking doing that. And it was a fail. And so I had to rip out, and now I will always have vanilla socks with me or just huge swaths of stockinette during group therapy, because this requires that you think, and that's hard to do during group therapy, not in general. Sometimes in general, but especially in group therapy. So that's all my whips. Yeah, not a huge ton of progress this week. But that's okay. I'm okay with it. I've been setting my hand to some other things that I'm going to talk about during the shameless self-promotion segment of the show. So yeah. Okay. Let me check my notes. and see if there's any more thing for whips. And there is not. So we are going to move on to the pattern of the week. I thought this episode was going to run really long, but we're only at 14 minutes, so maybe it won't. But usually when I say that, I end up in blathering on about something else later in the show. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. And I think I say that like every single show too. Okay. So if you remember last week, I featured the Lucem Ferre hat and cowl set by Spunnomadiddy. You can find him at Spunnomadiddy Co on Instagram, Sultan. And Sultan donated 3 patterns and I hosted my first giveaway. And before the podcast, I randomly drew names for winners and I want to share those. So for all the winners, I will tag you when I post this about the podcast. When I put it on Instagram, I'll tag you if I can. And I'll leave or if you're just on, I'll find you and tag you is the moral of the story. You will be contacted. And when you get notified that you've won, go ahead and DM Sultan on Instagram and let him know you won, and then he will send the pattern. So again, that's at Spunnomadiddy Co on Instagram. So here are the giveaway winners. Okay. Amongst the subscribers, the drawing for that of people who are subscribed to the podcast and follow me and Spunnomadiddy, the winner for that was Kathy of Whatnot, who I've mentioned earlier and I mentioned last week. Yay, Kathy. Also, for the shares, the person who shared about the podcast and talked about it on Instagram, the winner for that is Tea Fueled Living, Annika. Yay, Annika. I always look at Annika's name. Annika's been coming to Stitch Group, but okay, whenever I look at their name, confession, Annika, it's Tea Fueled Living, but I always read it Tea Fueled Diving, which I was always kind of like, I wonder what that's about. And then I actually broke it down one day and realized it was Tea Fueled Living, not Tea Fueled Diving, which makes no sense. So yeah. The winner for the comments who won is Renee. And Renee, I saw your comment on YouTube. I'm trying to find you on the other social medias, but I know you're there. I just don't know your things. And this is Renee's comment. I'm trying to find it. So much inspiration to be found in nature, isn't there? Being around water really inspires me. The ripples, the sand, the rocks, the sun reflecting on the surface. So much about it and so much peace to be found. So thank you for your comment, Renee. And you too can reach out to Sultan. All 3 winners. Yay for our first giveaway. Yeah. So that's about last week's pattern of the week and the giveaway associated with that. And this week's pattern is a dress. So I'm going to put a picture up here. It's a dress knit out of fingering weight yarn. And I love it. This is designed by Anna Johanna, but she's Finnish, so I wonder if it would be pronounced like Anna Johanna. I wonder how they pronounce their J's, like ja or like a Y. Anybody speak Finnish and know? Let me know. So this is called the Vienno. It's knit with fingering weight yarn. It's an inclusive pattern. It calls for 4 inches of positive ease, and the bust measurements go from 33 to 64 inches. So you can have a 60-inch bust or a 33-inch bust and totally wear this pattern, wear this dress. What I love is there's 2-color brioche on the yoke. The sample you see here that's on the pattern page in Ravelry is all the kinds of grello, which I love. And when I messaged with her, Anna let me know that she's actually, so she was really paying attention and moved by the size inclusivity discussions happening on Instagram. And that caused her to add an additional size to this pattern, which I think is really great. And so she did, but the 64-inch bust size has not been test knit yet. So if you're watching and that's your size and you want to test knit and try doing a dress out of fingering weight yarn with 2-color brioche and all kinds of awesomeness, you can DM Anna and let them know. Also, what else? I don't know. I really like it. So I like that it's loose. To me, it's kind of tunicky. I mean, technically, I guess it's a dress, but I also feel like it's tunicky in a way. And I like that it has stranded knitting, that stranded knitting along the bottom hem. But then also the 2-color brioche. I like the scooped neckline. As you can see, I'm a fan. You know, there's going to be a lot of yardage here in this puppy, but it's not as much as you would think, which I don't know, like for the size I would wear, it would be like 1,500 yards about, which isn't ridiculous. I mean, what, you probably use 1,200 to do a sweater, so it's only 400 extra. Oh, but that's like the main color. The concrete crystal color would be another 180. So yeah, it'd be like 1,700, I guess. So that's a little bit more, but still doable, completely doable for a gorgeous knit dress. And the thing I like about it that I think would make it worth knitting a dress in fingering weight is, because I see lots of dresses and tunics that I want to knit, and the problem with worsted weight yarn, for me, what could be the problem, and I guess it would depend on the fiber it's made of, is, and I guess, yeah, I just wouldn't want it to be too heavy and start growing and getting longer and longer. Years ago when I first started knitting, that happened to a friend of mine. She knit a dress or something and she used a yarn that was kind of heavy, and yeah, her dress just kept getting longer and longer and longer throughout the day. And I think by the end it was like maybe a foot longer than when she began the day. So yeah, I can't remember, but it was something funny that made me laugh. So yeah. So that is Vienno by Anna, and you can buy her pattern for €8, 8.90 euros on Ravelry. Yeah, I really like it. The minute I saw it, the minute it came up, I was like, please let this pattern be inclusive so I can knit it. And I looked it up and saw that it was, and right away added it to my favorites and was like, this is going to be a pattern of the week. And I reached out to Anna and messaged them and was like, hey, I want your pattern to be the pattern of the week. Thank you so much for making it an inclusive pattern. And that's when they mentioned to me that they'd written about it. They also have a blog called, let me look it up, Where We Once Knitted. And I believe that they blog there, and they said that they had, yeah, intentionally done that following the discussions around inclusivity. So I thought that was great. So yeah, if you want to test knit it, looking for a test knitter. It's lovely. I think when I do it, I will probably do it in the Grello too, or maybe I'll do red. I'm not sure, but one day I would like to knit a dress, and I think this is it because I really like the pattern, and I think it would look really cute in the winter on a really cold day, like with jeans underneath or something. I think it would be really cute. So yeah, that's the pattern of the week, the Vienno, and Anna has donated a pattern for a giveaway. Yay! So lessons learned from last week's giveaway. Lesson number 1, I made last week's giveaway too freaking complex. Like, finding all the winners was a headache, and I'm not going to do that. this time around. I'm going to keep it simple. So this is what I'm going to do. If you would like to be entered into the drawing for Vienno, go ahead and on Instagram, the post that I put up announcing episode 11 is out. Share that post. Tag me when you share it. And leave a comment on it saying the largest thing you have ever knit with fingering weight yarn. That's what we'll do. And that will be fun. Yeah. So to win, comment the largest thing you've ever knit or crocheted, whatever fiber art you do with fingering weight yarn. And then share the post and tag me when you share it. So those two things gets you entered to win a copy of the Vienno pattern, generously given by Anna. Thank you, Anna. So yeah, go check out the pattern on Ravelry. There are 20 projects for it. And it's really interesting to see what other people have done and the color choices they've made. And yeah, they're really pretty, really lovely. So give it a look-see. So that is this week's pattern of the week and the giveaway for next week. And I will turn off comments for the post on a week from next Sunday. Let's go next Sunday at noon Central Daylight Time, which is -5 GMT. So yeah, that's when I'll turn the comments off and draw names for the giveaway. Okay, it is time for the mental health moment for the week. And just like last week, this week's mental health moment is inspired by my everyday life. Nothing super formal, but things to talk about. This week I want to talk about community and how affirming community can be, especially for neurodivergent and other disabled folks, which can feel really isolating at times. So, you know, as I said in the opening, I have begun the Stitch groups, and there are several people who attended several of the groups last week, and then some people who just attended once because that's all they were able to. But yeah, I'm hoping to keep it ongoing, like I've said. And I have felt it's been really nice for me. Like, one thing that's nice is I feel like I can be me in my own space in a way that maybe I can't in other spaces. I don't know. Although I guess I'm kind of me I don't know. But it's nice we've all commented that it's nice to be able to be in our own space and have others to practice our fiber art with, and connect and joke and laugh and support and encourage one another. It's really funny. Last night, I was sewing, and there was one other person in the group channel with me, or in the group virtual meeting room, and we were talking, and then there was a moment where they were counting stitches, I was sewing, and it was just quiet for a few minutes actually, and it was totally okay, and it felt lovely. And I told them, I said, I realize, like, if we were knitting in real life, like in each other's physical presence, like when you go to a knitting group or fiber arts group, people aren't talking to each other all the time during the whole thing. And I've noticed it several times throughout Stitch group. There will be moments of shared silence that just are nice. And it's like these moments where no one's talking to one another necessarily, but there's still a sense of togetherness, if that makes sense at all. And I love it. And I would love to have more people join. So people are finding that, like, tablets and computers work better than phones. And so there's that tip. And we've just been having a delightful time. We planned a knit along. I'm not going to talk about it yet because I'm going to announce it in the fall. It's going to run from October through probably the end of March. It will be a winter kind of knit along, and you'll hear about that later. But and that came out of a conversation we were all having about, oh, have you ever thought about knitting this type of thing? And yeah, it went from there, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be fun. And it's great because you can chat too. So we'll share patterns. Connections have been made. It's just going really, really well. But it's not like we've founded or established this set cliquey group and nobody else could join in. Everybody has been so welcoming, and you are welcome to join whenever you like. And not everybody who has joined is neurodivergent, or not everybody who has joined has a disability. But for those of us who do, we've been able to have conversations around that, not like in-depth conversations, just more talking about our everyday lives, like, oh, I have to go pick up my meds, or oh, da 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 da. And it's all very normalized, and it feels so good to know that I don't have to explain myself to everybody here. Feels really nice. So yeah. And it's a lot of fun, and it's just made me realize the importance of community, and especially the importance of community in terms of being a disabled person or neurodivergent person, and how that can feel very isolating, and how lucky we are that we have this technology now that can bridge that gap and allow us to connect. So yeah, I hope you're able to join if you want to. I know last week I was primarily on at night. This week I will probably get on a couple times during the day and maybe the night. I have a lot of making to do this week, so I might have it on sporadically throughout the day. I might just be at home. Like tomorrow it's going to be really stormy here, I think. And I only have one small errand to run tomorrow, and the rest of the day I will be here making. So I might just have that on, the room open in the background. And by tomorrow, I mean today. I mean Monday, because you're gonna, this will probably come out Monday. Although I am recording early, so it might go up in the middle of the night. But I mean Monday. So yeah, you'll see. Get the notifications on Instagram for my story if you want to see when I post. Sorry about all the weird shadowy today. I didn't feel like dealing too much with lights today, so I didn't. So that's the mental health moment. I would love if people commented about things you would like me to discuss during the mental health moment. That would be awesome. I should do a midweek mini again soon too, coming up. I haven't done one of those in a while. So yeah, but still having a lot of fun with the podcast. So thank you, everybody. Okay, that's the mental health moment. Now we are going to talk about shameless self-promotion, which is another new segment I'm going to be doing. So as I announced on last week's podcast that I've started making bags driven by a need to find bags that really fit a tomboy femme aesthetic, which is kind of the aesthetic I really like. So I did. And at first I was like, oh, I'm going to keep it really low key. Like I'm not even going to open a store. And then I just realized that's silly, that it is so much simpler to have a store. So I'm not using Etsy. I'm using an alternative to Etsy, but it just streamlines everything and makes it so much more simple. So I have a web address now. You can go to my online shop at www.tomboyfembags.com and you can purchase bags there. One thing, I don't know if I have any new bags yet that are out that I didn't talk about last week. Oh, this one is new, I believe. I have two new bags that I didn't show you last week. This, I don't believe I showed you this. I don't know, but it's a knot bag, and you basically slip this handle through here. This can go through your wrist. I have a couple of these that when I was first experimenting with the pattern, fudged on a little bit, and I take them with me all the time. They're great to carry a sock in for when you're commuting or just out and about. I'll just even, when I'm out with my family, I have one of these with me, and if I have a chance to knit, I can start knitting, and I can just let the yarn sit in the bag and, you know, knit away on a sock. So this is reversible. You'll see, kind of reversible. I mean, you would see one seam that I had to sew shut. Where is it? Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not on this one. I was thinking of a different one. So yeah, this is a reversible, plaid on this side and stripes on this side. And I think I named this one, because you know I'm naming everything, stripey with a chance of plaid. So this is upcycled, and this is listed for $15 maybe. Go to tomboyfembags.com to see the price. I can't remember. And for this one, I made a notions pouch. I made the notions pouch and I'm selling it separately, but it's the exact same material. I just called this stripey with a chance of plaid pouch. So you could buy both of them if you wanted a bag with a matching notions pouch, or you could get this separate. It has a zipper on the top, and yeah, it's just a handy dandy little notions pouch. So yeah, that's what I didn't show you last week. And an announcement I wanted to make is this. So I am using upcycled fabrics, and by that, I'm getting garments that are going to be tossed, and I'm cutting them apart and using those. I'm not buying like bolts of like waste fabric or anything like that, you know, seconds that you can sometimes get. I'm not doing that. And so what that means is that I take a lot of care in the fabric I purchase and in how I pair it together. Like I really think about it. And I don't buy fabrics that I don't like. I think about, I won't design a bag that I myself would not carry around. Just so there's that. What that means is this. Any of my bags you get are going to be one of a kind. So once it's gone in the online shop, it's gone. Now, I might make one with similar fabrics that's close to that, but generally they're all different. So far they've been. What that also means is like, this is really slow fashion. I'm not mass producing these at all. So, you know, I'll come out with like 3 to 5 new bags a week. I'm hoping to get a lot made this week because I'm partnering together with 2 other folks and doing a giveaway. So I will be giving away a bag. I'm not going to show it now, but that will get announced, I think, toward the end of this week, because I'm going to use this week to get a lot more bags going in the shop. But I just wanted to make that announcement that if you want to know when I have a new bag in the shop, go ahead and follow my Instagram at tomboyfembags. Turn on notifications, and anytime I put a new bag in the shop, it will go in the Instagram page. And it won't go in the story. I might do it in the story as well, but it will also for sure be like go in my regular feed. So if you want to find out when a new one goes in, and if you like it and want to snag it up, follow Tomboy Fem Bags on Instagram. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. This is what I'm finding. I was talking to somebody during Stitch Group about this, and I said, you know, this isn't me tooting my own horn, but kind of. But I've often had people compliment my sense of style and taste and how I decorate things and pair things together and outfits and all that. And it's unconventional, like for sure. But people have often commented, and I feel like making the bags is a way that I get to tap into that part of myself, because I get to choose these fabrics together. I get to purchase them and then pair them up, and I've like learned a lot of new skills, and it's just been really, really great. So yeah, that is my shameless self-promotion. Okay, moving on to acquisitions. Let's see. This actually came in last week, but I forgot to share about it. So I'm going to share about it today. And that is, I bought a copy of Mason-Dixon Knitting's newest field guide. This is field guide number 11. This one is called Wanderlust, and it is all socks. I've paged through it. I haven't knit anything from it yet, but I'm going to. Here's for sure what I'm trying. And I think I'm going to try this on my next pair of shorties that I do for my youngest is, so it's all socks. And what I like is it's simple patterns, simple stitch patterns, because that's really what I like in socks. Like really, like Hermione's everyday sock is a perfect example of that, where it's something really simple, but very lovely. Like, I'm not going to give away anything, but like, look at those. They're just beautiful. I'm for sure gonna knit up some of those, use that stitch pattern. And I think what I'm gonna try next too is do a picot cuff on the next shorties that I do for my youngest. And when I knit some of their socks, I might try, and it's not striping, I might try some of these stitch patterns. So yeah, I thought this was a good resource, and I'm really excited by it. And the designer for this issue, because you know, every field guide, they feature a different designer, is, let me get to it. You're probably all yelling at the screen because you know, is it Wendy Bernard? It might be. I feel like that's it, but I can't remember. Yep, Wendy Bernard, who you might also know as Knit and Tonic, I believe. Or is that someone else? Wendy Bernard, we'll just go with that. So yeah, I'm excited about trying some of the things in the book, some of the stitch patterns. I'm excited about trying that picot heat cuff for a shorty sock. I think that could be fun. So yeah, Mason-Dixon Knitting's Wanderlust field guide number 11. Okay. So one of my really dear friends went to Sweden. She is fluent in Swedish and went to a lot of like Swedish language camps growing up and has distant relatives there, but just knows a lot of people there. She lived there for a year when she was younger, and she went back for a visit, and she brought me back yarn. So it's lovely. What was great is she knows me so well and said, I wanted to get you something really local that you couldn't just get easily in the States. And so this is called, I don't know how you would say it in Swedish, Jule yarn. This is 100 grams. And from what I can tell on the label, 250 meters. I can't remember what weight that would be. It looks like 2-ply. I would guess, it's 300 yards for 100 grams. I would guess this would be a sport weight. Or DK is what I would guess. She got me, so I have, you know, like over 500 yards of this. She got me 2 skeins, and there are a couple of things I love about it. One thing I love is that this is undyed. This is the color of the sheep. And she took a picture of the sheep in the field and messaged it to me, which was awesome. It's very rustic, you know, I mean, it's definitely toothy, but I feel like this would make great colorwork mittens. So I'm gonna make colorwork mittens. This will be the base for colorwork mittens, is what I'm gonna do with this. And I have several patterns in my favorites. I just have to pick one and then get the other color. And yeah, it smells so sheepy. I wanna wash it and see what happens to it. So I think I might knit up a little swatch and just wash it and see. Yeah, but I love it. And this, you can, so they have a website and their phone numbers. It's made by Inger and Goran Lowendahl. And you can kind of see their info there in case you want to call them or email them and get some. I don't know. So yeah. Thank you, friend. You know who you are. So that's one acquisition, my Yarny acquisition. The second is this. So apparently I have a sitting on knitting needles problem going on this week. Within the last week, twice, I sat on a pair of my, Luca size 1 needles and broke one. Twice in a week. I didn't puncture myself, thankfully. There is something really weird on my glasses. This is me without my glasses. It's a thumbprint, I think, and it was annoying and distracting me better. Okay. So I have 3 pair generally of sock needles so that I can have 3 pairs going if I want at any time. And yeah, long story short, I broke 2 of them in 1 week. So I put on Instagram the other day, I get my fixed Luca needles for socks from MUSE 2320 Fiber Co. in Hastings, Minnesota. And I was going down there and messaged Sarah, the owner, and was like, Sarah, save me. Do you have any of these? And she had 1 size 1 left in stock. So I said sold and went straight there. I was on my way down from Minneapolis to Hastings, went straight there, got a set of needles, got ice cream sandwiches because she sells ice cream at the shop. What? And got this. So if you'll remember, this is more kitchen sink. Her yarn called Kitchen Sink in the Crane Wife base, the same base I am doing my Tanya in. So just for comparison, I want to show you. So the Kitchen Sink colorway has, ooh, I'm like rattling my sock blockers all over the place. The Kitchen Sink colorway has 13 colors in it. So it can look really different, she said, based on which skein you pick up. So look, this was my first one that I got that I'm knitting in my Sherry Chevron shawl. And then this is my second. It'll be really interesting to see how this one knits up. I am going to use this for sections 6 and 7 of my spring cleaning shawl. So I have 2 sections left to knit. I'll put a picture of that shawl up here by Stephen West. And I am going, and I've been wondering what yarn I'll use, and I think I'm going to use this, and then I will be done with that. So yeah, that is my final acquisition for the week, I believe. So yeah, life in general. I don't even know what to talk about for life in general. It's been a really busy week getting bags done. Lots of sewing, want to do more knitting, but I feel like I have this push this week and then I'll be able to return to a normal pace and just do like a bag, 1 bag a day, Monday through Friday. You know, like a job, like working Monday through Friday is kind of my plan and goal. So hopefully I can do that and that will free up time in the evenings and more time for knitting. But I'll even jump on Stitch Group when I'm sewing. Why not? Yeah. What else is new in the world? I don't know if you can hear the thunder. It's storming right now. We've had a humid spell and it's been so humid and sticky and hot. And then today I had to go to a local shop that sells sewing stuff, and they sell a lot of stuff. It's called Diggs Studio. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna quick bike there. It looks like it could rain, but I think I can make it. And I'm just gonna come home anyway. And I got halfway there and the sky just like opened up and it was like pouring rain. I was soaked to the skin by the time I got home. I went to the shop, got what I needed, just a few sewing notions, and then biked home and then like hung all my wet clothes and put on dry clothes. And then of course, like 20 minutes later, the rain stopped and it dried up, but now it's storming again and I hear they're going to be coming through. So that's the weather report from Minneapolis. Oh, I also signed up for FiberShare. So if you're in FiberShare, yay! And I got my matches today, and that's exciting. haven't chatted a lot with both of them, one of them briefly. And yeah, I'm excited to, the person I'm giving to, I'm excited to get to know her, to get to know her likes and interests and put together a care package for her. It'll be fun. I will say got paired with somebody, I'm gifting to somebody in the UK. So that's all I know about their address, but yeah, it will be a lot of fun. So I think that's it for this week. It's been kind of a mellow week, just busy, but good. What else? I don't know. Give me mental health moment suggestions. Pretty mellow podcast today. Yeah. One Hamilton appearance. That's it. I don't even know if I'm going to have like a blooper ridiculous clip to put in the beginning because I haven't really even had any major screw ups during recording. So yeah. Okay. Hey, don't forget about the giveaway. Share the Instagram post of this episode and tag me in it and leave a comment about the largest thing you have ever made from fingering weight yarn. Like and subscribe. The more of you who subscribe, the more I get mentioned. And I want to get mentioned because we are like 30 something people away from 100 followers. And once I get to 100 followers, I can get access to some fun things. Once I get 1,000 followers, people, I can live stream from my phone. Right now, I can only live stream from my laptop, which isn't as interesting, I think, as your phone. So, subscribe, share, all the things. And don't forget to follow me on Tomboy Femme Bags on Instagram to find out about the giveaway I'm going to be partnering with some others on over there. So yeah, I hope you have a good week. I would love to see you on one of our stitch groups, and you can get that information in my highlights on Instagram. And yeah, have a good one. Take care, folks. Bye.